My cheating wife's parents came over to brag about her getting everything in the divorce, not knowing she had just been arrested for fraud. The doorbell rang at 6 in the evening, and I opened it to find Gerald and Patricia Whitmore standing on my porch with a bottle of champagne. Gerald pushed past me without waiting for an invitation, his wife following with that same smug expression I'd seen on their daughter's face for 8 years. My phone sat on the kitchen counter with a notification I hadn't shown anyone yet, the notification that changed everything about this moment. I let them walk in because I wanted to see their faces when reality caught up to them. Patricia made herself comfortable on my couch and looked around at the apartment I'd been renting since the separation. Quite a downgrade from the house, isn't it? She didn't wait for an answer. Gerald was already opening the champagne, letting the cork fly across my living room without caring where it landed. They'd driven 2 hours to gloat in person. My wife had convinced the judge to award her the house, both cars, and 70% of our savings. She'd cried on the stand about how I controlled the finances, how I made her feel small, how she was afraid of me. None of it was true, but it didn't matter. Gerald poured 2 glasses and handed one to his wife. Stephanie called us this morning with the good news. The final decree came through. He took a long sip and smiled at me. You know, I always told Patricia that you weren't good enough for our daughter. Too focused on your little accounting job while she built a real career. I stayed quiet. Patricia chimed in. She's already planning to move Kyle in next month. They've been together longer than you know. Kyle was the personal trainer she'd been sleeping with for the last 2 years of our marriage. The one she swore under oath she'd never met until after we separated. I glanced at my phone again. Patricia noticed. Expecting someone? Maybe a lawyer to help you appeal? She laughed. Stephanie's attorney said you don't have grounds for anything. It's over, Thomas. You lost. Gerald walked to my refrigerator and opened it like he owned the place. He made a disgusted sound at what he found inside. This is pathetic. Leftover takeout and cheap beer. Meanwhile, my daughter is hosting dinner parties at the house you paid for. He grabbed one of my beers without asking and cracked it open. You should have just signed everything over 6 months ago. Would have saved yourself the legal fees. I let him talk. I let them both talk. Every word they said made what was coming so much sweeter. That's when Patricia pulled out her phone to show me pictures. Look at this. Stephanie just redecorated the master bedroom. New furniture, new paint, everything. She scrolled through photos of my house, the one I'd worked overtime for years to afford, completely transformed. She said she's finally erasing every trace of you. Gerald laughed and raised his beer. To new beginnings, and to Thomas finally learning his place. I picked up my own phone and opened the notification that had been waiting there since 3 o'clock. It was a text from Detective Warren at the Financial Crimes Unit. The message included an attachment. I'd been waiting for this moment for 6 months. I turned my phone toward them and let them read it. Gerald squinted at the screen. His face went white. The attachment was a booking photo of their daughter, taken 4 hours earlier at the county jail. I told them what they were looking at. Stephanie was arrested this afternoon for embezzlement and fraud. Turns out she's been stealing from her company for 3 years, over $400,000. Patricia grabbed the phone from my hands. Her champagne glass slipped and shattered on my floor. I kept going. The forensic accountant found it during the divorce discovery. I reported it to her employer 2 months ago. They called the police this morning. Gerald's voice cracked. This is a lie. You're making this up. I shook my head and pulled up the email from her company's legal department, thanking me for bringing the discrepancies to their attention. I showed them the official police report number. I showed them the news article that had already been published online with her name and mugshot. Patricia started crying. Gerald grabbed the counter like his legs might give out. The house, he whispered. The settlement. I smiled for the first time in months. The judge already froze all assets pending criminal investigation. Every penny she took from me goes back into escrow, and convicted felons don't typically win custody disputes. Stephanie got 18 months in federal prison. Her parents never spoke to me again. I got the house back 3 weeks later and changed all the locks before Kyle could move in.